Shalom, Hebrews. This is a message from the Israelite Brotherhood. Okay, Hebrews. I want to talk about the self-righteous Israelite with the Jewish myths. And you know, some of these Hebrews you can't even talk to. And they swerving down that they just got it all figured out. You know, I hate to, I want us to have unity, and you know, I kind of hate to talk about these Hebrews, but some of these Hebrews' history be whack, man, and I'm talking about crazy. And then you can't talk to them, you can't tell them nothing because they think they know everything. You can't point out nothing because then, you know, they think that they truths that they got is the actual history. And if you ask the Hebrews, well, okay, explain how the Sephardis, explain how the Sephardis and the Ashkenazis got our history and claim a Israelite history. And some of them go mute then. You know what I'm saying? They don't know what's going on. They don't know what's going on and they go mute. And if you try to tell these Hebrews, hey man, your history, man, is kind of, you know, that's kind of crazy and that's not true, and then you show them, some of them still can't see and don't want to see and want to be dead set on being right instead of, you know, having the open mind about, you know, the information, you know, that's presented to them. You know, some of these Hebrews you can't even talk to because they think they know everything. And, you know, I don't know what's going to happen to them or what we're going to do to them. You know, I guess the Creator going to eventually, you know, bring them around to, you know, some real history. And I know I'm not the best historian in the Israelite community, and I'm not trying to take that title, but I can assure you, and you can research the things I say, you can easily see because it's just plain and simple, and it's coming out the Tanakh history, and how some of the Hebrews history just be pure whack, and then you can't even explain to them that their history is whack because they so self-righteous and stiff-necked. You know, that's why come when the Creator say that we some stiff-necked people, you know, I understand totally what the Creator mean by that. You know, we some stiff-necked people, and we just, you know, man, it's hard dealing with us. And then that's kind of why slavery was brutal, because if you looking at, you know, if the slave owner kind of like know the people that he dealing with, these are some people, man, that's out of this world with ignorance and lack of understanding. And the Bible explicitly explain this, the Tanakh history do, you know, especially the book of Jeremiah. It tell you how we broke the covenant and how ignorant we was. You know, I got a video explaining how, you know, Prophet Moses even say how the Creator didn't give us ears to hear and eyes to see, and how we are affected by that in the Israelite community. But, you know, it's time to start waking up now, and we should start having one doctrine. We should have one history. We can't have all these 1,000 doctors. Everybody take the Israelite history and then put their own spin on it, and then that would make the history whack, you know, because every time you come across an Israelite and then you ask them, hey man, how we the Israelites? And then me and they'll go ranting off with some crazy stuff. Some of them, you know, they go off them Jewish myths, be the foundation of they distorted history. You know, they'll say, oh man, we went to Assyria, man, the Syrians got us, and then we went through a magic water hole to Azarias, and then we went up to South America on boats, and we didn't have no sheep, we didn't have no goats, we didn't have nothing, no Israelite culture besides a fringe that everybody have to get the water off their clothes, you know, that's used like a wicker. They help dry your clothes, and how, people just, made fringes, and how the Israelites wasn't the only one with fringes. And these Hebrews that have history, man, that's pure crazy. Like I see it in one of the videos, how one brother see that Solomon sailed up the Mississippi River. See, what be the problem is that, you Hebrews don't have date and timelines. And then when you read the Tanakh history, you don't know, when this book came about. You don't know when this prophet come about, and you don't know none of this. And then you don't basically know our enemies. I know for sure that if you ain't been studying with the Israelite Brotherhood, you Hebrews ain't gonna even know that we abandoned our heritage to some Babylonian scribes. You just ain't gonna know. But if you've been studying with the Israelite Brotherhood, you gonna know, what happened to us. We got thousands of hours, 70, 80, 90,000 hours, continuous research. This research that I've been putting out, it started real thoroughly about 7, 8 years ago. You know what I'm saying? And I do this every day. I've been doing this every day, all day for the last 8 years. Every day, all day. This is what I do: study Israelite history for the Israelite Brotherhood. And I'm showing that, we only got one history. And the one history that we got is the Tanakh history, and how we Hebrews broke the covenant and ran into Africa. That's it. We broke the covenant in the book of Jeremiah. We said that we wanted to do the African Egyptian religion, and we ran into Africa. And that's that on that. Man, it ain't no other history besides that. And the book of Jeremiah explained what happened to us in our last days on the promised land. And I explained in the Israelite Brotherhood history how the exiles, the 1% that was taken to Babylon, how when they returned back to the land, how they was destroyed by the Greeks. You Hebrews will have to explain how the Sephardi's and the Ashkenazi got the Israelite heritage. If your history don't include how Ashkenazi and the Sephardi's got an Israelite heritage, then, man, your history gonna be whack, and it's gonna be off. Your history gonna be off. You Hebrews think everybody are Israelites, and you think everybody are Israelites from that 10 lost tribe myth. I got plenty videos showing that it's no 10 lost tribes, and that never was any 10 lost tribes. And I show also that the Hebrews didn't run into Africa in 70 AD, and those are lies. And I show that the Hebrews didn't go to Europe and Asia and China and Russia in the Americas, or none of these places before the transatlantic slave trade. Israelite history is easy now. It's simple now. We ain't got to use our enemy myths, and I'm telling you Hebrews that know when they bought all them books, thousands of dollars worth of books, trying to prove Israelite history, and they all gonna be wrong, and that the only book that's real is from Genesis to the book of Malachi. That's all we got. That's all we responsible for. That's all we wrote. Our enemies took that and translated. All the other books that they say that they didn't include this. You see, the enemy ain't no fool. He is not stupid. He is not stupid. He gonna put the absolute truth before your face, and then he gonna put a lie right next to it, and you make your choice. You make your choice. And 9 out of 10 Hebrews always go for the fantastic lie. Something that sound crazy and don't make no sense and stuff. We always go for that history and that line and stuff. That's like those Cephas books, the Maccabees, and all those books that they say, well, this was part of the biblical history, and I'm telling you that it wasn't. and that we Hebrews are responsible for the Tanakh only, and how that the Tanakh history fit directly. It's the missing link. If you was to have a puzzle and you was to put all the pieces together, and then there's one piece, and that the picture is not gonna be complete unless that one piece is put in there. And that's what the Tanakh is. You know, it's that one piece, and it's the only history. And I know some of you gonna swear up and down, oh, all these other books, they some good. And man, them books is garbage, pure garbage. And that the devil put them books out there and didn't put them books with the Tanakh history because they know what happened. You see, you have to know who the Ashkenazi and the Sephardis are. You see, they had councils where they sit down and sorted, what they say was going to be Israelite history and what wasn't. And what they did with the Tanakh history is that they mix the books up. That's like you get Ezra and Nehemiah, that should be way back in the back of the books with the book of Haggai, Zechariah, Malachi, Ezra, and Nehemiah. Those 5 books should be together. Those 5 books should be together. And how the enemy is so slick that if you done read Ezra and Nehemiah, and then you continue to read the Tanakh history, then by the time you get to Ezekiel and Jeremiah and Isaiah, then you done forgot all about what happened to the exiles and their history and the problems that they had in detail. And then that's where they got slick at, is when they put Ezra and Nehemiah in the front to throw you off, so you don't know what really happened to the exiles when you finish reading the troubles, the Ezekiel and Jeremiah. You don't know what happened. They real slick, and that's how they was slick like that. But all them other books, them Cephas books, some of you Hebrews get them books and read them and don't know that you done read a lie and that you done read Jewish history. It's a such thing as Jewish history. The Jews have their own history. And this is what you Hebrews don't understand, is that we abandoned our heritage to some Babylonian scribes. Now that's something real serious. Some Babylonian scribes. Do you know what a Babylonian scribe is? They're responsible for Babylon's history. They responsible for Babylon's God's history. And Aniki, Murdoch, Nabu, all them old Babylonian gods, they're responsible for their history and how we abandoned our history, our heritage to them during the Babylonian wars. And this what'll make a Hebrew history whack, is when they can't explain how the Sephardis and the Ashkenazis got our heritage, and how the Ashkenazi and the Sephardis been in the Israelite heritage like 2,000 years before the Khazars. The Hebrews, that's like this is another myth that the enemies be popping bottles and be loving when you quote it. I'm talking about you got some Hebrews that get stiff-necked and sweeping down and look you in the eye and sweeping down what they saying is fantastic and real, and how they just reveal something so serious when they say the Jews are the synagogue of Satan. Those who say they are Jews and are not, but are the synagogue of Satan. You sweeping down that you didn't expose them folks and that you got them right. Not knowing that Ashkenazi was in the Discopolis cities, and that Ashkenazi had synagogues everywhere. Ashkenazi started throwing up synagogues. Ashkenazi didn't wait on the Sephardis to educate them on the Israelite heritage. Ashkenazi just went on and took them a piece when they came into the Israelite heritage under the name Skinty, and they settled in the Discopolis cities. They are the people in the New Testament. They are the people in the New Testament, Ashkenazi. They're going to be the first ones to embrace Jesus as a demigod. and take that to the world and stuff, and how that they ruled the whole New Testament and Jesus concept, and how Ashkenazi got our heritage during the Babylonian Wars when they settled in Scythopolis in Galilee and the Discopolis city areas. That's the whole northern kingdom area during the Babylonian Wars when they chased us into Africa. And if you Hebrews can't explain how the Sephardis got our heritage or the Ashkenazi got our heritage, then your history gonna be whack. They part of the Israelite history and heritage. How can you not explain Israelite history and then not explain how the Sephardi's and the Ashkenazis got an Israelite heritage? Most Hebrews don't know that they won't even speak on this, and that's what make your history whack, because you cannot explain Israelite history and don't explain the Sephardi and Ashkenazis in the Israelite heritage. How can you not explain how our enemies got our history and occupy our land? Most Hebrews go to the Jewish myths, the Khazars. That's the only explanation that they got. Most Hebrews think that the Ashkenazi just left Germany and then went to our land and then started settling there after the Holocaust, and not knowing that Ashkenazi been around for a couple of thousands of years in the Israelite heritage, since we abandoned our heritage to the Sephardis in 588 BC when we Hebrews was chased up off the promised land. I ain't finna make no long video about this. You Hebrews already know what's up, but I want you Hebrews to thank you some leaders in the Israelite community, thank you some leaders, and don't have no history, don't have no truth, and think that you a leader in the Israelite community. I want you to know that there's some Israelites out here that, we know what time it is, and you Hebrews gonna have to come on in to this truth, and how you ain't finna keep misleading the Hebrews. Yeah, the Hebrews think that you a leader now because, they believe in that false history that you've been presenting to them, because they just don't know. And it sound good. But I'm here to tell you that them days gonna come to an end, and that we're gonna have to have one history of what happened to us. And it's only one event happened to us. We broke the covenant for African Sahara religions. You Hebrews gonna have to start, getting some truth, and that's how we defeat our enemies and come into our heritage. Ain't nobody gonna know that you an Israelite with them Jewish myths. It's like that running into Africa because her Edomite temple was destroyed, and her didn't rebuff no temple. Her built that temple from the ground up. He destroyed the temple that Zerubbabel and Malachi and Ezra and Nehemiah and them patched up. Her took that all the way down, and then built him a whole new temple. And how Yawashi, Jesus, didn't even know that Hur was an Edomite, and how he went and prayed in that and called it his father's house. You Hebrews be using whack history. And I want you to know that, it is some clear history, and I challenge any Hebrew on the history that I'm showing, and I've been doing this for a while, and it ain't no challenge. I'm here to tell you, it ain't no challenge. You can't challenge this, because I'm showing you what happened to us, and it took a long time to put this history together. It's simple now. It's real simple now. We Hebrews broke the covenant for Egyptian religion and ran into Africa during the Babylonian Wars. All the tribes, except that 1%. Besides that little 1% that was taken to Babylon. And I got plenty of videos explaining what happened to them and how they was destroyed by the Greeks and by the people who made the Assyrian Empire disappear. Yeah, Ashkenazi destroyed the whole Assyrian Empire, extinct them, killed every last one of them. Every last Assyrian was killed by Ashkenazi, and then they settled in the Discopolis city, And you know, no Hebrews couldn't live with them. And then the exiles disappear after the Greeks get in here. No more Hebrews, and how it's a 500-year blank history with the New Testament popping up 187,000 days later. 187,000 days later, then they pop up with the New Testament history and the demigod and so forth. You know, you Hebrews gonna have to learn some real history, and we're gonna have to come up off them Jewish myths. And you Hebrews be pushing Jewish myths when you push 10 lost tribe doctrine, and when you push Hebrews ran into Africa in 70 AD, or when you try to say that the Hebrews went all over the world and so forth. You know, that's whack history, and that your history have to line up totally with the Tanakh history. And then that's why it take a whole lot of researching hours going over world history, and then how the Tanakh history have to fit into that. Well, the Israelite Brotherhood done did that. And history, Israelite history is easy now. We don't have to use our enemies' history to try to pass it off as Israelite history anymore. Alright, Hebrews, this is a message from the Israelite Brotherhood. You Hebrews that be using them Jewish myths and trying to pass them off as truths to the Israelite community, man, y'all gonna have to stop that stuff, because you prolonging our captivity with them lies and so forth, and how we all need to have one history, one doctrine. We only need one history, one doctrine, and that's what happened to us in the Tanakh. In the book of Jeremiah is our last act on the promised land, and it show how all the tribes ran into Africa to do the Egyptian religion. I encourage you Hebrews to look at the videos that I got up, and that's going to help you come off them Jewish myths, and that's going to stop you from having whack history. You know, whack history going to be everything that, you know, is not true, and how Hebrews would take Tanakh history and put their own spin on it. That's whack history. Then your history going to be whack. Alright, Hebrews, this is a message from the Israelite Brotherhood. We're going to have to start pushing the hard line, and we're going to have to start pushing these Hebrews because they like some sheep. We're going to have to start pushing these Hebrews into the true history fold. And then, you know, we could start progressing, but we ain't going to never progress long as Hebrews running around talking about we the Moors, the Egyptian Moors, and we the Native Americans, and we all these different ethnic groups that didn't come out of Africa or didn't get on the slave ships. You know, these Hebrews are crazy with all these doctrines, with all this whack history, and then it look you square in the eye like they telling the truth. You know, it be sounding good to themselves and stuff, you know, because they be thinking that they smart and then figure some stuff out. And then, like I say, some of these Hebrews, when you try to show them the truth and you showing them they so stiff-necked and swearing down that they right, that they just, you know, ignore the truth and like the spin in the doctrines that they be pushing. Them Jewish myths, like I say, that 10 lost tribe, Hebrews ran into Africa in 70 AD, or Hebrews in the New Testament, or the Hebrews don't have no curses on them, the black Jews. We the black Jews, and we don't have no curses on us, and we didn't get on no slave ship, and there's no Tanakh history to cover that. Some of you Hebrews believe that the black Jews that didn't go through the transatlantic slave trade are Israelites, and you willing to die for that. Some of you gonna perish for that, believing in that mess, believing in that garbage. You Hebrews got to wake up. We got to stop pushing them Jewish myths, thinking that we intelligent and so forth, when it's clear history out here now. Shalom. This is a message from the Israelite Brotherhood.